Hey LG family, welcome back to our channel. So as you can tell from the title of this video, I want to be talking about tubal ligation and your thoughts on it. So I was scheduled to have a tubal ligation today actually, but I changed my mind, and there was a few things that changed my mind, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about it and see if there was anybody out there that went through a similar situation or already did their tubal ligation, and how was the process and how they felt afterwards. So actually I was scheduled to do a tubal ligation the day after delivery, but for some reason they had to reschedule. Well, not for some reason, but they claimed that there was a lot of surgeries being done that day and they couldn't get to me in time, so they had to schedule me 6 weeks later to come back and do it. And that was a red flag for me because I'm a really big believer in like everything happens for a reason, and so I felt like that was a sign saying that, like, you know, you should put it off, think about it some more. I want to backtrack a little bit. Before I gave birth, I was dead set on getting a tubal ligation. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was like, I'm gonna get it done. My mom, she was against me getting it. She kept telling me, like, you know, really think about it, you're young, I don't think you should do it, you might want another one in the future. And I'm like, I don't want any more kids, 4 is enough. I always did want to try for another girl, but when we found out that Elias was a boy, I was like, this is what God wanted for me, and I'm done. I don't want any more kids. However, my mother was like, you know, in my ear telling me like, don't do it, don't do it. And I was still like, no, I'm gonna get it done, like, I don't care. But she kind of like did get into my head a little bit, and I started thinking like, well, maybe I shouldn't do it. Corey also didn't want me to do it. He kept saying like, you know, this is not God's plan. Like, if he didn't want you to have another kid, like, you wouldn't have it, but he didn't intend for women to have surgeries. And I'm like, no, like, sir, you don't want to get a vasectomy, I'm going to go get my tubes tied. But I kind of felt like he was just saying that so that he doesn't feel guilty that like he didn't want to get a vasectomy, and like was pushing me to get a tubal ligation. Like, he wasn't pushing for me, but because he didn't want to get a vasectomy, I was telling him like the only other option is tubal ligation. Now I know you guys are thinking like, there's birth control out there, why don't you just get on birth control? So I've tried a few different forms of birth control, and each one had a negative effect on my body. So when I try the pill, it makes me feel like I'm pregnant, and it makes me feel like I'm in my first trimester with the constant nausea and the vomiting. So like, I don't know about you guys, but I can't stand to feel nauseous 24/7. So the pill is definitely not an option for me. And I tried different brands of the pill, and I got the same reaction with my body with each pill. I tried the Depo, which I was on it for 3 years, right after my second child, and I thought everything was fine. Like, I didn't really feel anything other than I gained weight a lot in my stomach. Like, I stood skinny everywhere else, but I just started getting a really bad gut. I looked pregnant. I didn't like that, but other than that, there was no other side effects, or so I thought. Until after the 3 years, you know, we were like, I'm gonna get off of birth control. I've been reading a lot about the Depo shot, and I actually started following like a support group on Facebook, and there was a lot of women talking about how it took them years to get pregnant. I knew that we eventually wanted to try for a girl soon. So I was like, let me just get off of it now, because I see that a lot of women are struggling to get pregnant, and I didn't know how long it was going to take me because I was on it for 3 years. Not that I wanted to try immediately, but I just wanted to get off of it and give my body, you know, time to recuperate from being on Depo for so long. When I got off of it, my body started going through withdrawals, which a lot of people also mentioned in the support group too. So I knew it wasn't all in my head. I started having a lot of dizzy spells, head fog. I just felt weird. There were times that like I would feel like, with the dizzy spells, I feel like I was on the verge of like passing out, but I would never pass out. And like, my head just felt really foggy. Like, you know how people have like that post-COVID symptoms with the head fog? That's how I felt like after I got off of Depo. Mind you, I got off of Depo back in I want to say in 2019, so this was before COVID was even like a thing. And so I've experienced this head fog way before, so you can't tell me that it was affiliated with like me having COVID in the past. And then it did take like, it took about 8 months for my period to return, and then on top of the 8 months, another year to fall pregnant with Jeremiah. So I don't want to put my body through that again. So Depo is a no for me. I thought about getting an IUD, but I read so many stories and seen a lot of stories on Facebook as well that the depot can migrate to other parts of your body, and then you would have to have it surgically removed. So that's something that like really scares me. I've seen people saying that they had to get like surgery on their tubes, and now they can't even have children anymore after having the depot shot. After having the IUD. So I don't want to go that route. Like, not that I want to have more children, but just don't want to have it migrate to another part of my body, and then we have to go undergo surgery. That's really scary. So the depot, why do I keep saying depot? The IUD is a no-go for me. The implant that they put on your arm, that's a no-go. Like, I just don't feel comfortable with them putting something in my arm. Again, I'm really religious, and you know, this may sound crazy to some of you guys, but I'm really religious, and like in the Bible it says there's gonna be a time where they're gonna put like chips in you, and that's like the mark of the beast. So just for my personal preference and my religious beliefs, I do not feel comfortable with getting the implant in your arm for birth control. So that's why I felt like tubal ligation was like the best for me. But again, Corey was in my head, my mom was in my head, they didn't want me to do it. And then the day that I did give birth, and the next day I was supposed to get my surgery, you know, they said that they had to postpone it, which was like, is this a sign? So that got me thinking. But I still went ahead and scheduled the appointment for 6 weeks, just because I was still like, you know, I want to get it done, but I was just having like second thoughts. And then I realized, like, you know, I should be 100% sure before I do this permanent surgery, and just the fact that I'm having second thoughts was enough for me to be like, I shouldn't do it. I need to be 100% sure that this is what I want to do. And I have this paper here. This is something that they gave me like before when I went to one of my OBG appointments. So basically it's just information for women who want to do the tubal ligation surgery. And I want to read something that stood out to me, and this is another big reason why I was having second thoughts. So basically this whole package is like giving you the risks and the benefits of the tubal ligation and all the information you need to know. And most of it is basically saying like, be sure, because it is a permanent procedure. Obviously you can still have a baby if you tie your tubes, but you need to go through IVF because you will still have your uterus. So you can still technically implant a baby into your uterus, but that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if I ever wanted to go that route, like, I can't afford that. So anyways, basically this whole packet is saying like, be sure. But something that like stood out to me basically was this paragraph that I'm gonna read to you. So it says, make sure you do not want to bear children under any circumstances before you decide to be sterilized. Are you sure you would not want to have children even if one of your present children die, or your husband died, or you got a divorce and remarried? Be sure of your decision before you decide to be sterilized. So that really stood out to me, because like, if one of my children die, God forbid, like, God please protect my babies, I don't know if I would be okay with not ever being able to have another child. Obviously you can't replace the children that you already have if something ever was to happen to them, but you know, you will feel a sense of emptiness inside, and you probably would want to try to fill it with another bundle of joy. Hermias just woke up and he's knocking on the balcony door. So yeah, you obviously would want to really think about it and really be 100% sure that this is what you want before you tie your tubes. And the fact that I had that little inkling of a doubt just made me not want to go through with the process anymore. Will I ever go through with it? I don't know. I'm still deciding and still thinking about it. I'm weighing my options. I also have a sister-in-law who went through with tying her tubes after her third child, and like, now she tells me all the time, like, I wish I would have never did it. I regret it. I do want to have another baby, and I don't want that to be me. Although I don't want any other children at this very moment, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm still young. I'm only 31 years old. So yeah, you just never know what will happen. I also have a cousin who did it after her fourth child, and even though she doesn't want any more children, she also says she regrets it. I think it's just the thought of like, you're never being able to get pregnant again. It's like really deep, and like, it's a lot. So that's why I decided to put my tubal ligation on hold. Let me know if you guys, anybody who got their tubes tied, did you regret it? Did you feel confident in your decision? Comment down below and let me know what your experience was. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and if you already are subscribed, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Thank you, and peace.